Most Americans know, well, I hope most Americans know, that this is not the entire United States. This is 48 of the US's 50 states. The last two states, Alaska and Hawaii, are disconnected from the main chunk. Even that, though, is not all there is in the US. The US is sovereign over not just the 50 states, but also the District of Columbia, usually abbreviated DC, and 5 populated territories. The US territory that most people have heard of is probably Puerto Rico. Some have also heard of Guam and American Samoa. The least known are the Northern Mariana Islands and the US Virgin Islands, and it is the latter of these that this video is about. Oh, and there's also more that's the US than even this, but we've got to cut this off somewhere. Welcome to TwoLambdaPlusBlack. I am Heirua. The Virgin Islands are a group of small islands in the Caribbean to the east of Puerto Rico. Divided into 3 parts now called the Spanish Virgin Islands, the US Virgin Islands, and the British Virgin Islands. They were originally inhabited by various Arawakan peoples until Christopher Columbus and company arrived and killed them, some through genocide and some through smallpox. Over time, the various islands of the Virgin Islands have been under the control of no less than 7 different colonizing countries from across the ocean, frequently exchanging control of them through purchase or conquest, though it's worth mentioning that one of the Spanish Virgin Islands, Culebra, managed to be de facto under the control of pirates for 318 years. That's right, for an entire 318 years, pirates maintained control over Culebra and used it as a home base. Today, all 3 parts of the Virgin Islands are still territories. The British Virgin Islands are a territory of the UK, the US Virgin Islands are a territory of the US, and the Spanish Virgin Islands are also a territory of the US. They came with Puerto Rico. The thing, though, is that the distance from St. John in the US Virgin Islands to Great Thatch Island in the British Virgin Islands is merely 1 kilometer, a distance easily traversable with the sight of the naked eye for a person on the ground. So by standing on the north coast of St. John and looking across to Great Thatch Island, one is seeing the United Kingdom while standing in the United States. Despite being home to barely over 100,000 people, that is not the only remarkable fact about the US Virgin Islands. Another strange situation involving them is that despite being a US territory, it drives on the left, making the United States one of only 3 countries in the world for which not all of it drives on the same side of the road. A fun fact that likes to get passed around in geography nerd internet spaces is that this makes the US in violation of the Geneva Conventions, since there exists a Geneva Convention on road traffic that stipulates that all territory within the country shall maintain the same driving side. This fun fact, though, rests merely on linguistic technicality, as the term Geneva Conventions specifically refers to the 4 treaties in relation to humanitarian treatment in war, of which the Geneva Convention on Road Traffic is not a part, and just so happens to contain the words Geneva Convention in its name. And, as it turns out, the United States is not a party to the Geneva Convention on Road Traffic. More remarkable, though, is that despite the fact that the US Virgin Islands drive on the left, its cars, like those in the rest of the United States, have the steering wheel on the left, and people on the US Virgin Islands just have to deal with this setup. What's much more appalling than violating the Geneva Convention on Road Traffic, though, is Jeffrey Epstein. 2 of the islands in the US Virgin Islands, Great St. James and Little St. James, have names that probably ring a bell if you keep up with the news, as they were owned by the billionaire and child sex offender. In particular, Epstein owned the latter, Little St. James, for 21 years, eventually making his mansion on it his primary residence, and the island eventually became referred to by the locals as Pedophile Island due to growing allegations about what happens there. It really didn't help that among the 70 staff that Epstein kept on the island were security guards that watched if scuba divers got too close to the island. To end on a more positive note, the US Virgin Islands are home to Virgin Islands National Park, which is unique in having an underwater trail accessible via snorkeling. The trail is in Trunk Bay on the north side of St. John. You could also see the waters of the United Kingdom while in the waters of the United States while you're there. I hope you enjoyed this hopefully not completely depressing video about the Virgin Islands in general and the US Virgin Islands specifically. Maybe I'll get to the even more obscure parts of the United States in some future video. In any case, as always, thanks to my patrons, and remember to love the night.